You've been praying, asking, and waiting, but something still doesn't feel right. You've fasted, you've obeyed, you've tried to stay faithful, yet the change you expected hasn't come. Your heart is willing, your faith is steady, but your life keeps circling the same unanswered questions. Why the delay? Why the constant wait? Why does it feel like you're fighting against something you can't see? I am the Lord your God, and today I want to open your eyes to a hidden truth. Someone close to you has been standing in the way of what I've prepared for your life. You felt the signs, haven't you? That uneasiness deep inside. The peace that disappears when certain people are around. The confusion that follows some conversations. You thought it was just in your head. You called it spiritual exhaustion. But I call it discernment. The tension you've been feeling isn't random. It's divine detection. I've been gently showing you what your eyes couldn't see, what your emotions tried to silence. I've been uncovering shadows that were cast by people you trusted, and now I'm pulling back the veil completely. Because what you don't know is costing you. The doors you've been praying for can't open, while contaminated hands are gripping your atmosphere. The blessings you've been believing for are being slowed. Not by sin, not by disobedience, but by spiritual sabotage hiding in plain sight. They don't wear evil on their face. They smile, they applaud, they walk with you, but their spirit is in conflict with what I placed inside you, and while your heart made room for them, your calling cannot. This isn't about bitterness, it's about alignment. I will not let you carry into your next season someone I did not assign. I won't allow your vision to be dimmed by those who pretend to celebrate you while secretly competing with you. There's been a spiritual resistance around you. Not because you're under attack from strangers, but because you've been surrounded by hidden resistance from within. And now I will make it plain. I've heard their words. I've seen their posture. I've felt the weight of their jealousy cloaked in kindness. And while you've been pressing forward, they've been holding you back with unseen hands, not always by action, but by access. You've given them space in your life, and with that space came influence. Influence to speak, to advise, to sow doubt in subtle ways. And each seed of hesitation, every planted fear was designed to keep you smaller than what I created you to become. You've wondered why certain opportunities slipped through your hands, why divine timing felt off, why your momentum vanished the moment you shared your plans. It wasn't coincidence, it was connection. Some blessings require a purified environment. And though you have been faithful, your surroundings have not. That's why I'm stepping in. That's why I'm shaking the ground beneath relationships you once thought were permanent. I am not trying to break your heart. I'm trying to free your destiny because there is a path ahead of you that cannot be walked with divided loyalty. I will not allow you to remain yoked to those who drain you spiritually, emotionally, or mentally. What you've been calling friendship, I call interference. And I love you too much to let it go unnoticed. You have felt it even if you didn't understand it. The tension after sharing your dreams, the way celebration turned quiet, the way support started sounding like control. You noticed the shift, you endured it out of love. But I am the God of clarity. I am the one who sees what man hides, and I am now revealing what your spirit has already suspected. Not o shame, not to punish, but to protect. I am separating not out of anger, but out of mercy. Because there are blessings with your name on them, appointments that were written before you were born, and they cannot be accessed while your spirit is tangled in unholy alliances. Some people were meant to walk with you for a chapter, not the whole story. And when their time has expired, their presence begins to suffocate your promise. That's why you've been restless. That's why your peace has been fractured. It's not depression, it's divine interruption. I am interrupting your cycle before it sabotages your assignment. You prayed for elevation, but you can't rise while holding hands with what's been weighing you down. I'm cutting ties, not to isolate you, but to insulate you. You've said, Lord, I didn't want to lose anyone, but I say to you now, not everyone was meant to stay. Some were sent to stretch you, others were sent to test you, but not all were sent to build with you. You can't build a future with those who are threatened by your growth. And you cannot keep giving access to those who haven't honored your anointing. It's not always betrayal that delays a blessing. Sometimes it's subtle disobedience, keeping around what I told you to release. You asked me to move. Now I'm moving, but my move begins with exposure. Don't resist it. Don't explain it away. The eyes of your spirit are opening because I'm ready to show you everything. The people who never prayed for you, the ones who only supported you when you were small, the ones who smiled but planted doubt. I'm bringing it all into the light, not to hurt you but to heal you. There is too much ahead to stay stuck in what was. You've outgrown the environment that once fed you, what once felt familiar now feels foreign, and that's by design. I've been shifting your hunger, your awareness, your energy. You are being elevated, and elevation demands separation. This is not rejection. This is redirection. It's not punishment. It is protection. I'm positioning you to receive what has been held back, not because I withheld it, but because what was attached to you would have corrupted it. Now I am clearing the path. You will walk lighter. You will see clearer. And you'll begin to sense my presence in a deeper way than you've ever known. You're not alone in this unveiling. I am with you. I will guide you, and I will show you piece by piece what has been hidden in plain sight. Watch closely. The very ones who are blocking your blessing will reveal themselves, not through confrontation, but through patterns, through distance, through discomfort, through silence. You won't have to expose them. I will. Stay quiet. Stay obedient. Stay discerning. The uncovering has already begun, and when it's done, you will finally breathe again. You've been asking me to make the crooked path straight, to remove every obstacle, to release what's rightfully yours, and I've heard your every prayer. But now I must speak plainly to you. The delay has not come from me. The delay has not been the enemy's doing alone. The blessing I intended for you has been circling, hovering, held back, not because I said no, but because someone you've allowed close has said in their spirit, it should not be them, not out loud, not publicly, but deep within, where jealousy hides behind a smile, where envy dresses up as advice, where passive resistance feels like support. You've missed it because you looked with your heart, but I see through the heart. And what I see is misalignment dressed as loyalty. You've mistaken presence for purpose. But not everyone who walks beside you is walking with you. This is a hard word, but it is a healing one, because I cannot keep pouring into hands that drain you when you're not looking. I cannot give you wings while someone near you is quietly clipping them behind closed doors. And I refuse to let the blessing I've spoken over you be intercepted by someone I never anointed to carry what belongs to you. The truth is, someone close to you has been interfering with what I've been trying to release. They've been smiling, nodding, cheering just enough to remain close, but their heart is not in alignment with my will for your life. They have been spiritually misaligned, emotionally unsettled by your growth, and internally disrupted by your obedience. Your surrender has exposed their complacency. Your vision has magnified their limitations, and instead of celebrating what I'm building in you, they've silently questioned why it wasn't happening for them. That's not your fault. That's not your burden to carry, but it is your responsibility to recognize when access must be revoked. I'm bringing you into a season of radical clarity, where the masks fall without force, where loyalty is tested by silence and intentions are exposed not through confrontation, but through contrast. I'm letting the light reveal what shadows have tried to cover. You've carried too much for too long, and it's not just the weight of your assignment, it's the unseen drag of relationships it never told you to keep. You keep saying, Lord, I feel stuck. And I say to you now, you are tied to a weight I never placed on you. You've kept certain people around because you didn't want to seem ungrateful, because you thought letting go meant losing compassion. But I never asked you to lose your love. I asked you to protect your purpose. And purpose, my child, is sacred. It must be guarded, not with fear, but with discernment. You're not crazy for sensing distance. You're not bitter for noticing their energy has shifted. That's me sharpening your awareness. That's me stretching your discernment. You prayed for next-level elevation, but elevation comes with new atmospheres, and some people simply can't breathe where. I'm taking you. They don't hate you. They just don't understand the weight of your mantle. And in their confusion, they've begun to interfere, not intentionally, but spiritually. Their unresolved bitterness has opened a door. Their quiet offense has created a blockage, and because of your open heart, you've let them remain close. But I can no longer allow it. The cost is too high. This is your divine wake-up call. The spiritual resistance you've been wrestling with, it's not coming from afar. It's coming from proximity, from voices that once comforted you, but now contradict what I'm saying to you, from presence that once strengthened you, but now subtly distracts you. You felt the misfire in your spirit, but you kept pressing forward in love. I honor your compassion, but now I require your obedience. I am revealing this because the next blessing I release will be weighty, visible, undeniable, and I will not allow the wrong hands to contaminate it the moment it arrives. You've worked too hard, you've wept in silence, you've obeyed when it cost you everything, and now that it's almost here, I must clear the path completely. You've cried out, Lord, what am I missing? And this is the answer. You've allowed loyalty to become a spiritual liability, but I will not leave you uncovered. I will not expose the truth and leave you bleeding. No, I will walk with you through every moment of release. I will give you wisdom in conversation, grace in distance, peace in separation. You will not need to explain. You will not need to fight. You will not even need to announce your departure. I will handle the shifting. All I need is your yes. Yes to letting go of what no longer fits. Yes to walking forward without apology. Yes to trusting me more than your need for familiar comfort. Because on the other side of this revelation is restoration. There is a blessing I've been holding back, not to punish you, but to protect it. And the moment you allow me to close the door, you'll see how quickly the heavens open. Don't fear what you'll lose. Fear what you'll delay by holding on to what I'm asking you to release. You've been loyal long enough. You've been patient long enough. You've made excuses for patterns I've been trying to show you. But now I'm turning up the volume in your spirit. I'm showing you the truth in ways you can no longer ignore, not because I want to break your heart, but because I'm determined to free your calling. There's no more room for passive disobedience, no more delaying what I've made clear. I've whispered. I've nudged, and now I'm revealing, because I love you, because I've called you, because your blessing is not just for you, it's for everyone. I've connected to your purpose, and I cannot allow one contaminated connection to block the flow for all. So pay attention in this season. Watch how they respond to your silence. Watch what shifts when you no longer initiate. Watch how the ones who once praised you begin to pull away. Don't chase. Don't explain, just observe. I am showing you everything, and I will continue to show you, because when I remove what's been blocking you, nothing will be able to stop what I'm about to pour out. Trust me, the uncovering has only just begun. You've been asking for open doors, for favor, for the shift that aligns with what I promised. But with every prayer I've been sifting what surrounds you, because I will not pour new wine into a cup contaminated by silent opposition. I've not delayed your blessing. I've been guarding it, not from strangers or enemies in the open, but from ones wrapped in closeness, hidden by proximity and cloaked in smiles that do not reach the heart. And now I am revealing. I'm showing you who they are. Not to stir suspicion, but to restore spiritual clarity. You've been faithful, but you've also been too trusting. You've looked at patterns and still gave chances. You've made peace with dishonor for the sake of keeping the peace. But peace built on denial is not my peace. My peace comes through truth. And the truth is this: someone who walks near you is not aligned with where I'm taking you. Their presence has not only drained you, it has disrupted divine order. You've asked me to accelerate you, and now I must expose what's anchoring you. Do not think I have turned away from your prayers. On the contrary, I have leaned in. I've seen your tears when noon was around. I've watched you battle confusion while pretending to be okay, but I did not create you to live in emotional exhaustion. I am a God of peace, of order, of alignment, and I am coming to rearrange what has been blocking your flow. Look closely. You'll begin to notice it now. The conversations that once felt light are now heavy. The laughter that used to connect you now feels empty. That's not distance. That's discernment. That's me shifting the atmosphere around you. So you stop clinging to what I'm trying to clear out. You keep asking me to bless your plans. But how can I, when every time I release something, you place it in the hands of someone who cannot steward your destiny? There is someone you've invited into sacred places emotionally, spiritually, or relationally, who no longer qualifies to walk in that room. You didn't see it coming because your love made room for their flaws. But I saw what you couldn't. I heard the way they spoke when you weren't in the room. I felt the motives behind their compliments. And now, in this hour, I will uncover it. Not to humiliate them, but to liberate you. You were never created to carry a blessing half-functioning. You were meant to walk in fullness, and for fullness to flow. Trust must not be contaminated. That's why I've been unsettling the ground beneath your relationships. You thought it was just Lefetch changing, but it was me pruning, me cleansing, me dismantling alliances that were never divine. You don't need to confront them. I will. You don't need to defend yourself. I already have. What's being removed is being removed for your protection. There is no need to force closure. When I close a door, it is sealed by heaven. What you need now is clarity. So I'm giving it to you, not in chaos, but in peace, in revelation that confirms what your spirit has already whispered night after night. You've looked at others and thought, why not me? But you never knew what I was shielding you from. I wasn't just delaying a blessing. I was preserving its power, waiting for firmament when your circle was clear enough to carry it. I couldn't afford to bless you in front of someone who secretly resented what I was doing in you, because their bitterness would have poisoned your celebration. Their silence would have infected your joy, and the blessing meant to lift you would have instead confused you. That's why I waited. That's why I pulled back the timing. Not because I doubted you, but because I love you too deeply to hand you something sacred in the presence of someone who would mishandle your favor. You've been thinking maybe it's me. You've questioned your own obedience. But I say to you now, it was never about your disobedience. It was about your alignment. I am a God of strategy. I don't just bless. I establish. And I don't just move. I preserve. You asked me for acceleration, but I first had to remove what was attached to your spirit without permission. You've shared too much with people who pray with their mouths but plot with their hearts. You've trusted counsel that came from empty wells. You've invited advice that diluted my voice in your life. But that season is closing now. You are entering a new atmosphere, one that requires sharper discernment, quieter movement, and deeper trust in me. I'm sending new people, ones who will pour into you without pretense, who won't compete with your calling, but will protect your peace. You've been surviving on connections that required constant explanations, but now I will surround you with those who understand you in the spirit, who don't need your proof, only your presence. There's a release coming, but it begins with release. Not the release of the blessing, but the release of what's been blocking it. Let go of the idea that everyone will understand your separation. They won't. Some will misread your silence. Others will label your boundaries as betrayal. But this is not for them. It's for me. I'm repositioning you for something that requires a purified atmosphere. One voice of contradiction can delay what I'm about to do. One whisper of envy can contaminate what I've prepared for you. That's why I'm cutting it off at the root. This next level of blessing isn't just personal, it's generational. What I'm giving you is too sacred to be filtered through relationships I never endorsed. So trust me when I begin to distance you from what once felt familiar. That disconnection is not punishment, it's permission. Permission for me to build without interference, permission to plant without spiritual parasites, permission to expand you without sabotage, living in your shadow. You've been asking for signs, and here they are. Look, listen, watch how they respond when I elevate you. Watch what happens when you stop over-explaining. Watch how your stillness reveals their storm. I'm not revealing them to break your heart. I'm doing it to secure your destiny. Let this be your peace. When I remove someone, it's because I've seen what you haven't. And when I uncover something, it's because I'm about to recover everything the enemy tried to block. You are not being abandoned. You are being aligned. You are not losing people. You are shedding interference, and on the other side of this exposure, I will give you rest. Rest from hidden resistance, rest from confusion, rest from double-minded loyalty. And then I will bless you in ways even you could not imagine. You've made it through the silence. You've endured the strange distance, the inner battles, the spiritual heaviness that lingered without explanation. And now I say, Toyu, look again, feel. Again, something has shifted. The atmosphere is lighter, not because the battle has ended, but because I've removed what was secretly draining your strength. The Lord your God, have begun to cleanse the garden of your life from what once grew hidden in shadows. You kept wondering why your spirit felt tangled. You thought it was fatigue, warfare, or weakness, but it was spiritual interference, camouflaged in closeness, hidden in conversation, tied to access you gave out of love. But love without discernment can become a doorway for sabotage. And I love you too much to tolerate what I've poured into you, be polluted by those who were never meant to steward it. The blessing that was delayed is now being released. I am opening the heavens, but first I had to lock the gates where deception once entered. You will no longer find yourself explaining your joy to those who secretly resent it. You will not have to shrink to keep others comfortable. You will not have to question whether you're safe around those you've invited in. That chapter has closed. I've seen you grieve the loss of familiar faces. I've watched you question, did I do something wrong? But hear me now. This was not rejection. This was redirection. I removed them not because they were evil, but because they were not equipped to walk with you into where I'm leading you. Some were seasonal, some were situational, and some were spiritual assignments, tests of obedience masked as friendships. But now the test is over, and you passed. Not because you were perfect, but because you kept coming back to me, even in confusion, even in pain, even when everything around you said, stay, your spirit whispered, move. That was me guiding you, shielding you, lifting your head when no one saw you cry. There is now a divine opening in front of you. What was blocked is now flowing. What was delayed is now in motion, and what was covered is now revealed. You will begin to see unusual favor, not because you forced it, but because you trusted me with the fallout. You didn't fight for closure. You didn't return evil for evil. And because of that, I will fight for you. They tried to hinder your path with subtle distractions, but I turned it into your elevation. They tried to silence your purpose with soft disapproval, but I've turned your voice into thunder. They tried to confuse you with questions, but I'm now answering everyone with breakthrough. I do not forget those who trust me in secret pain. Your name is being whispered in rooms you didn't know existed. Your story is shifting in ways your logic can't keep up with. I am orchestrating our recovery so complete that even what was stolen emotionally will be returned multiplied. And when you walk into this next season, you will not walk in with baggage. You will walk in with glory. Don't look back. Don't grieve what I removed. They played their part, and now I've released them. They were a chapter, not the conclusion. I'm writing a new page with clean ink. No edits, no razors, just the sound of heaven affirming every step you take. What I'm doing next requires your whole heart, not a heart split by guilt and confusion. That's why I've settled the matter. That's why I'm closing the book on this part of your story. You've wondered, what's next, Lord? And I say to you now, restoration, elevation, revelation, and release. Restoration of what was lost while you entertained the wrong voices. Elevation into places your name couldn't open, but your obedience did. Revelation of things I've kept hidden until now because your spirit is finally ready to receive. And release. Oh, yes, divine release from cycles, from silent sabotage, from emotional bondage, from atmospheres that limited your joy. I am releasing you, and nothing will stop what's coming. I did not forget your obedience. I did not ignore your tears, and I did not waste your suffering. Everything the enemy meant for harm, I've already turned for your good. This delay was not denial, it was divine filtering. Now you are ready. Now esteem. Now your hands are clean and your heart is guarded. Now I can trust you with more. So watch as doors open without manipulation. Watch as blessings find you without striving. Watch as your name is honored by heaven because you chose obedience over comfort. And watch how the very ones who once resisted, you'll marvel not at your success, but at your peace. The peace that surpasses what they understand, the joy they thought you lost, the strength they tried to break. This is your moment of divine unveiling. You have been covered by confusion, but now you will be covered in glory, and nothing, no one, no weapon, no whisper will block what I am about to release. Now lift your head, my child, walk with confidence, for I, the Lord your God, have cleared the path. What once resisted you will now respond to you. What once drained you will no longer touch you, and what once was hidden has now been uncovered. Your time has come. If this divine word spoke to your heart, subscribe to this channel for more prophetic messages from the Lord. Let the Spirit lead you. And if this revelation stirred something deep in your soul, comment Amen below to seal it in faith. This message wasn't just for your ears, it was for your breakthrough. Now walk in it.